What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Welcome back to our Bible study. Alright, this time around, we've got Exodus chapter 19, which is not terribly long. But, update on things for those of you who might not be up to speed. Obviously, with it being Exodus, the Israelites have left Egypt, and after that, they've been kind of traveling in the wilderness a little bit. They've gotten to Mount Sinai, which is where God promised Moses to take them during the whole burning bush incident. While at Sinai, Jethro, who is Moses' father-in-law, technically speaking, but also high priest of Midian, comes, visits, sees that Moses kind of needs a change of leadership structure, and so Moses follows that advice to better help the people with all their disputes. And I think that kind of leaves us where we are now. So, without further ado, here we go. Exodus 19. Exactly 2 months after the Israelites left Egypt, they arrived in the wilderness of Sinai. After breaking camp at Rephidim, they came to the wilderness of Sinai and set up camp there at the base of Mount Sinai. Then Moses climbed the mountain to appear before God. The Lord called to him from the mountain and said, "Give these instructions to the family of Jacob. Announce it to the descendants of Israel. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians. You know how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now if you will obey me and keep my covenant, you will be my own special treasure from among all the peoples on earth, for all the earth belongs to me. And you will be my kingdom of priests, my holy nation. This is the message you must give to the people of Israel." Okay. So, God's pretty much reiterating things that have been said before. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this is once again God saying, all right, if my people follow me and do as I say, I will glorify them, bless them, set them apart. And I guess the more specific thing here is kind of almost also connecting back to the covenant that God initially made with Abraham and Isaac and them, that they would have many descendants, and that they would be sort of, set apart as God's chosen people. Also, footnote here, Hebrews says in the 3rd month after the Israelites left Egypt. Okay, 2 lunar months to the day after leaving Egypt. Okay, so it's in the 3rd month, as in, because they technically left Egypt on the 15th day of whichever month it was, it is now 2 months later, but it is the 3rd calendar month during which they've been, traveling away from Egypt. Sort of like the whole Jesus rose from the dead on the 3rd day sort of thing, even though it was buried Friday, dead all of Saturday, rises on Sunday. So it's not like he was in the tomb 3 whole days. It was more on, again, the 3rd day, because it's the 3rd calendar day that he had any time spent in the tomb. Similarly, the Hebrew points out that it is on the 3rd calendar month that this is taking place, rather than saying it was 2 months after they left. So anyway, Yeah. Also, the whole brought you to myself sentence thing, as I was reading that, I was like, yeah, I guess, because Mount Sinai was seen as, the mountain of God, it's like the symbolism of that being where he was made that statement all the more impactful, I guess. More meaningful to the Israelites at this time. But anyway, okay. Moving on, verse 7. So Moses returned from the mountain and called together the elders of the people and told them everything the Lord had commanded them. And all the people responded together, "We will do everything the Lord has commanded." So Moses brought the people's answer back to the Lord. Then the Lord said to Moses, "I will come to you in a thick cloud, Moses, so the people themselves can hear me when I speak with you. Then they will always trust you." Moses told the Lord what the people had said. Gonna stop it there, even though it's kind of mid-paragraph. Again, we kind of have a bit of the pattern of God, showing the people a sign or, giving them a particular word and something like that, and they say they'll obey it. They say they'll trust God, but previously, when things have gotten tough, they've kind of gone away from that and doubted God. So, forgive me if I'm, not just assuming they're actually going to do what they say here. Also, I don't know. I guess because the people will be able to hear God when he speaks with Moses, that the assumption is because of that, they'll always trust him then. Him being Moses. But anyway. So, at this point, Moses seems to be kind of going back and forth between talking with God and talking with the people. Whatever. Verse 10. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go down and prepare the people for my arrival. Consecrate them today and tomorrow, and have them wash their clothing. Be sure they are ready on the third day. For on that day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai as all the people watch. Mark off a boundary all around the mountain. Warn the people, be careful. Do not go up on the mountain or even touch its boundaries. Anyone who touches the mountain will certainly be put to death. No hand may touch the person or animal that crosses the boundary. Instead, stone them or shoot them with arrows. They must be put to death. However, when the ram's horn sounds a long blast, then the people may go up on the mountain." Okay, so God's basically telling Moses, get the people ready for his coming, because he's going to speak with Moses on the mountain in the cloud. And God doesn't want anybody else getting too close because, it's like kind of a sacred, holy space, especially while all that's going on. I guess in a sense it's also God not really wanting anyone to interrupt the interaction that's about to happen between him and Moses. But after the ram's horn, then they can go. Footnote just says it could be up to the mountain instead of up on the mountain. Same concept. Anyway, verse 14. So Moses went down to the people. He consecrated them for worship, and they washed their clothes. He told them, "Get ready for the third day, and until then, abstain from having sexual intercourse." I guess because that would have made them unclean in a way. I don't know. That's kind of my assumption. There was, to my understanding, that was kind of the general thought process of, yeah, that would have made somebody unclean. And if they're trying to make themselves clean and consecrated for this particular event, even so far as, washing all their clothes and doing all that kind of stuff, then, yeah. Anyway, verse 16. On the morning of the third day, thunder roared and lightning flashed, and a dense cloud came down on the mountain. There was a long, loud blast from a ram's horn, and all the people trembled. Moses led them out from the camp to meet with God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. All of Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because the Lord had descended on it in the form of fire. The smoke billowed into the sky like smoke from a brick kiln, and the whole mountain shook violently. As the blast of the ram's horn grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God thundered his reply. The Lord came down on top of Mount Sinai and called Moses to the top of the mountain. So Moses climbed the mountain. Okay, so I guess this loud blast was kind of marking the start of things, of God's sort of physical visit, so to speak. With all this stuff going on, all this smoke and fire and all these, horn blasts and things like that. I assume it was some impressive or interesting and kind of otherwise unexplainable display of events, with the only explanation being, this must be God. God is here. He is doing these things. And then God calls Moses up to the mountain, basically to speak more directly with Moses. Anyway, verse 21. Then the Lord told Moses, "Go back down and warn the people not to break through the boundaries to see the Lord, or they will die. Even the priests who regularly come near to the Lord must purify themselves so that the Lord does not break out and destroy them." "But Lord," Moses protested, "the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai. You already warned us. You told me, mark off a boundary all around the mountain to set it apart as holy." But the Lord said, "Go down and bring Aaron back up with you. In the meantime, do not let the priests or the people break through to approach the Lord, or he will break out and destroy them." So Moses went down to the people and told them what the Lord had said. So in this part of it, you get a little bit of a sense that it wasn't just God not really wanting interruptions, but also, God not wanting the holy ground defiled, for lack of a better way to put it. And you see this kind of idea in a lot of different ways and places throughout the Old Testament. Like when they set up the tabernacle and ultimately, the temple of God, and just kind of all these different particular places that end up being marked as holy ground, denoting God's presence there. They end up, with some sort of consequences for people entering who aren't clean. So, Now, this makes it sound like, the priests could, like, go up on the mountain if they went through the effort of purifying themselves. But after this, Moses is kind of like, wait, Lord, you already told us this. Why are you saying this again? And God's like, just tell them again, all right? I guess because he was going to bring Aaron up, because Moses was going to bring Aaron up with him per God's command, and lest other people think they would also be allowed to go up, that's possibly why God was telling Moses, make sure you tell the people not to come up on the mountain. Don't go into the holy place here. Yes, you've already set it apart and told everybody it's holy and not to go there. But I want Aaron to come up with you. So, lest people think that, I'm contradicting myself and wanting some people to go up there anyway, just tell them again. And that does it for chapter 19, I guess. Okay, so that's going to do it for this time around. Basically, God's prepping the people and giving them instructions before he talks with Moses to give him further instructions, I guess. But I guess, just taking extra time and effort to make it clear that nobody else should go on Mount Sinai while he's talking with Moses. Anyway, so that's going to do it for now. As always, like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with others if you want them to see. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell to get updates when I post new videos. Look down in the description for info on other social media pages. And, of course, leave comments down below all that with any thoughts that you have. So that's it. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you for the next chapter. But until then, stay cool, people.